Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipes. It's breakfast time. I apologize in advance. I had some sound issues and then partway through my sound will kick back in, but for the meantime, I will do voiceover. So today's recipe is called individual caramel rolls. This is a Bisquick recipe, so it should be basically foolproof. However, it is a 2-day recipe. If you want to make this, you should probably it would probably be a good idea to plan ahead. This is not something you want to make on the spur of the moment. With this kind of recipe, you want to plan your time working backward, beginning with what time you want to have it ready to eat. Then, working backward, start with cooling time of at least 10 minutes. Next is your baking time, figuring with the longer time, which in this case is about 30 minutes. Next is your prep time before baking, which I honestly do not know how long that will take. Let's estimate 30 to 45 minutes. And then using the worst case scenario, we will go with the 45 minutes. Then the dough needs to rest in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. Then there's the prep time on day 1. Let's say another 45 minutes. Better to give yourself too much time than not enough. I will try to keep track of how much time goes into this recipe as I go along, so I can let you know at the end how much time you need to allot to make this recipe. I really don't know how this is going to go, but there's only one way to find out. So let's get to work. Here is 2 cups of Bisquick. Now there's some confusion on the recipe itself. Some of the ingredients don't make sense, and some of the preparation sequence is out of order. So I will adjust that in the description below when I put the recipe into the description below. Okay, so to our Bisquick, we're going to add 1/2 cup of cold water. And then give that a stir, combining the flour and the water. This is supposed to make a soft dough. We have sound. You might want just a drop more water. I don't know, it's pretty close. It is soft. Maybe that's enough. Just a dribble. I think we're going to call that good. So now I'm just use my Bisquick for bunch flour. Okay, gently smooth dough into a ball. Knead 15 times. Okay, it's kind of out of sequence. Okay, there's 15. And now we're going to smooth the dough into a ball. Let's do it this way. That's looking better. I've never made this before. I've never eaten this before. So this is an experiment for me. So the goal is to roll it out to 9 by 15 inch. This is a 15-inch ruler, so that works good. Close, only 2 more inches ish, but it's not very square, so we'll have to square it off. That will affect our rolls. Ingredients call for shortening. In the recipe itself, it's saying butter. I have shortening already measured. I'm going to use that. I know it'll spread more nice and smooth. So we got 2 tablespoons of apparently some kind of fat. You know what? I'm going to get aggressive here and just do this. That way I can make sure it's spread evenly. Easier to feel it with my hands. Next, fine brown sugar and cinnamon. So 1/4 cup brown sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm going to add this to here. And I'm just going to kind of mix it up with my fingers. We'll just sprinkle this on. Sprinkle the sugar cinnamon mixture over the rectangle, which I've done. Roll up tightly, jelly roll style, beginning at the 15-inch side. We're starting on the long end. Okay, and then I'm supposed to seal the edge. I think we'll put it seam side down. That will help keep it from splitting open. Then we're going to wrap this up in plastic wrap, and it's going to rest in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. I'd rather have too much plastic wrap than not enough. Flip it over. Okay, make sure it's sealed shut. Okay, so this is our roll dough with the cinnamon and the brown sugar on the inside. This is going to go in the refrigerator for 24 hours. I will be back tomorrow and we will finish up then. Hi, well, welcome to day 2. I'll show you what I have here, and then in a moment I'm going to move over to the stove because I need to mix together my butter and my brown sugar. This is my muffin tin, which I've treated with pan spray, and I put about 3 pecans in each of the muffin tins. This is my dough, and now I'm going to move over to the stove. I'll meet you over there. Okay, so I'm over here at the stove. I had to rearrange my setup completely, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt butter and sugar together so I can tip this down so you can see what I'm doing. Just a nice little saucepan. This is 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of butter. Stick into the container. There. And we'll start the heat on. Start low. And then this is the same amount, so 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And we're just going to melt them together. So this could take a few minutes. We're just about there. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the burner. I'm going to have to move back over to this table, and I will meet you over there. So hi, I'm back over at the table. So I am supposed to put 2 tablespoons of the butter sugar mixture in the bottom of each of these muffin tins. It doesn't say to use any kind of pan spray. I went ahead and did that. I mean, this thing is going to be sticky, so I'm just kind of giving myself the benefit of the doubt that this is not going to be the easiest thing to remove if it is not a little bit greased. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of our caramel mixture, our butter sugar mixture, for each muffin tin. Okay, that looks pretty good. Fairly even. Okay, we'll set this aside, and we'll bring in our dough. So we're supposed to slice this into 1 1/4 inch slices, and it is a little bit longer than it suggests. It wants 15 inches. This is like 17. I do have a knife here, but the knife is only to score the dough where I need to cut, not to actually do the cutting. Now, this is something you may have seen me do this on a previous recipe, but for cutting dough, you can use a knife. You can use a bench scraper. You can use thread or string. I use dental floss. This is unwaxed, or this is waxed, but it's unflavored. So it's not going to give a peppermint or a cinnamon flavor to the rolls. This is 12 individual caramel rolls. But we've got nuts, so it's caramel nut rolls. All right, let's get them so they're kind of halfway standing up. So these are going into a 400-degree oven. They are going to bake for 15 to 30 minutes. That's quite a range. So I will check them at about 15 minutes and we'll see how they're doing and kind of keep an eye on them until they're ready. Well, hi. Okay, so I'm back. So the rolls have baked. I've let them cool for 10 minutes. They baked it actually for about 22 minutes. So not the full 30, more than the 15. I checked them at 15, gave them a half turn, checked them at 5 minutes more, then they could use a little more browning. So I went another 2.5 minutes, so a total of 22.5 minutes for the baking. And as far as making them, I said I would give you a timetable. So the actual preparation of the dough yesterday was only about 20 minutes. So, but I do have my ingredients pre-measured out, so that saves a little bit of time there. And then as far as today, probably another 10 or 15 minutes to melt the butter and sugar together and cut up and divide the roll. So maybe another 15, 20 minutes. I didn't pay that close attention on that end of it. But let's go ahead and give these a try. So I'm going to turn this down so you can see what I've got. So these are the rolls, and it does say to bake them on a cookie sheet. I put that cookie sheet in the oven to preheat with the oven so it would be good and hot. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get one of these out of here. I think I'm going to be glad I decided to hand spray my pan. So I'm going to bring this over here so you can see it. Okay, so it's very caramelized. Let me move my tray out of the way. I guess I'm going to break it open. It's very caramelized, almost like crunchy. It's definitely kind of on the crunchy side. It's actually kind of good. With Bisquick recipes, I never know. Sometimes they're a little too ordinary. Other times, they're amazing. It's not so much the gooey kind of caramel that I was expecting, but the bread is soft, but they're not bad. See, it's definitely kind of candied. Well, I do like the size of this recipe. It makes an even dozen, which is a manageable size. It's not overwhelming, so you're not going to be eating them for days and days. I like pecans. I like a good caramel nut roll. I'm really glad that I decided to use pan spray. That really did help because it was a Bisquick recipe. It was pretty easy. It was pretty much foolproof and, fairly successful. The one downside of it is that it was a 2-day recipe, so you have to plan ahead. There's no instant gratification here. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you. I will include the ingredients and the preparation for this recipe in the description below. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That would be great. Thank you for joining me on the journey through my cookbook. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.